So I'm super excited because today I am going to be doing a book tag that I created, and this is the Advent Christmas book tag. And if you guys don't know, this season that we're in right now is Advent. It's the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas, and basically Advent just means someone is coming, someone important is coming. And if you're a Christian, you know that someone is obviously Jesus. And so this time is meant to be a time of preparation for Jesus' story, his birth and his coming to earth. So during the Advent season, there's usually 4 virtues that are usually talked about: hope, love, joy, and peace. And so I thought I'd do a book tag with questions based on these virtues. So I came up with 2 questions for each one. So let's get right into it. So the first virtue is hope. So question number 1 is, what is a book or bookish gift you hope to get this Christmas? And for me, I definitely have to go with Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. I'll put a picture of it right up here because obviously I don't have it yet. But I hope to. So this is the 3rd and final book, I believe, in the Dark Artifice trilogy. And I definitely cannot wait to get to this one. I read the second one, Lord of Shadows, a few months ago, earlier this year, and just so much happened in that one, and I definitely can't wait to see how it ends and see how it wraps up. I cannot wait to get this one. It came out this month, December 4th, I believe, so not too long ago. So yeah, I cannot wait to get it. Question number 2 is, which fictional world would you hope to spend Christmas in? Now for this, I know a lot of people will probably want to say Harry Potter. Of course I would too. But as much as Hogwarts during Christmas would be awesome, I really wanted to try to talk about some more underhyped books in this tag, and so I'm trying to leave off some of the more popular books. The last 2 questions, I can't help it, they're going to be popular books. But for most of these questions, I tried to, well, except for the last 2 and the first one, but for the rest of these, I tried to do some books that are not talked about as much. And so for this question, I went with The School for Good and Evil by Psyne Series. I still don't know how to say his name, I'm sorry. But this is a middle grade book. I really enjoyed this series. This is about 2 girls, Sophie and Agatha, and they both end up getting taken away to this school. One to the School for Good and one to the School for Evil. But they think that, well, Sophie believes there's been a mix-up and that she's supposed to be at the School for Good, but she ends up at the School for Evil, and Agatha ends up at the School for Good. Agatha doesn't even want to be there to begin with. She just wants to find a way to get back home. Sophie wants to find a way to get to the School for Good. So, yeah. And this has a lot of, it's got a lot of fairy tales in here, fairy tale vibes in here. And so I just feel like this would be an interesting one for Christmas. I feel like the castles of the school would be all decked out, and I think, especially at the School for Good, I think there'd be a lot of festivities and stuff. So it'd be interesting to spend Christmas in this world. So moving on, next up is love. So question number 3 is your favorite love story. And this doesn't have to necessarily be a contemporary romance or any romance story. It could be a sci-fi fantasy dystopian that has a love story in it that you really enjoy. So what is your favorite love story? So for this one, again, I'm going with an underhyped, underrated book. And I'm going to say Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. This is one of my favorite books. And I just love the story. It's actually based off the book of Hosea in the Bible. And this has got a lot of tragedy and a lot of sad stuff in it. So if you ever pick it up, just be warned, be prepared to cry. Like, this is probably the only book I've ever read where I literally cried from the prologue to the very end of the book. I could not stop crying. So be warned, this is definitely a tearjerker. So if you're wanting something to make you cry, this is the book for that. But it's also got a really good love story in here, and I just really love this one. Question number 4 is name a book or series you can't stop recommending to others. Like, you love it and you recommend it every chance you get. And for this one, again, like I said, I'm trying to do underhyped books. And for this one, I have to go with the Psyne Series by Jasmine Angel. I will put a picture of them up here in the corner. I read these as ebooks, so I don't have the physical books to show you. But I love this series, and it's a mermaid series, and I love mermaids. So if you guys are fans of mermaids, definitely pick up this series to check out. It's great. I've talked about them before on my channel. I have reviews of, I think, all 3 books on my channel, so I will leave a link down below to the reviews. But definitely check out the series. I love them. So next up is joy. So question number 5 is a character who could really use some joy in their life. Now for this, it is super easy to pick any dystopian character, really, because those dystopian worlds, yeah, they could use a lot of the joy. But for this one, I'm actually going to go with a book that I already said, and that's going to be Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. Again, I have to go with this one because the main character, Sarah, she's been through a lot in her life, and like I said, there's a lot of tragedy. Her, she was rejected by her dad when she was young. Her mom died at a young age, and she ended up getting sold into sex slavery as a child and grew up in prostitution. And so her story is very, very hard and sad. And if anyone could use some joy in their life, it's definitely Sarah. And she does eventually find joy, which I'm glad. But yeah, her story is a tough one. And no, you guys, I did not spoil anything. Everything I said, you pretty much find out in the prologue, which is, like I said, why you're pretty much gonna cry from the prologue to the end. As the prologue hits you hard with everything that she goes through at such a young age and in such a short period of time. So, question number 6 is a book or series that always puts a smile on your face. And so for this one, I'm going with Juliet Immortal and Romeo Redeemed by Stacey J. And this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but with the twist where Juliet is trying to kill Romeo. So that had me hooked from the beginning. And I just really love these books. They always put a smile on my face when I see them. And this one, I will say, huge case of insta-love in the series. However, it doesn't really feel like insta-love, only because there's so much that goes on in these stories that it's actually surprising that it's not, it seems like more time has passed than they actually do in the books, and so it feels like the characters have known each other for much longer than they actually do. So it doesn't really feel like insta love, even though it totally is. So if you have issues with insta love, then I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one. But I will say it didn't feel like insta love to me. And also, if you love the hate to love trope, you will love Romeo Redeemed, because that one is totally hate to love trope. And I love that trope, so I really love that book. The last virtue we'll talk about is peace. So question number 7 is, which two characters would you mend the peace between? So if you were going to play peacemaker between two characters, which two would you choose to bring together? So for this one, this is one that I said I had to go with a popular book series choice for this. But it might not be the characters you are thinking of. So we'll see. But for this, I'm going to go with the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. And it's maybe not the characters you're thinking of. If you're thinking I'd mend the peace between Draco and Harry and his friends, then no, that is not the characters I chose for this. I actually chose Severus Snape and James Potter, Harry's dad. And it's interesting. I don't know why, but I feel like if they could put aside the past, what Harry's dad did to Snape in the past, if they can find a way to move on past that, I feel like they could be good friends. I don't know why. I mean, I just have a feeling. I feel like there would be a really cool bromance with them. And I feel like Lily, would probably be the one to bring them together. I mean, they both care about her. They both love her. And so if anyone could bring those two guys together, I think she would be the one to do that. But I don't know why, but I think Snape and James could be really good friends. And question number 8, the last question, is name a book or series with a satisfying ending. So again, for this one, I had to go with the popular one. And this one is probably my favorite ending of any book or series that I've read so far. Pretty sure this is probably my favorite one. And that is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is the third and final book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. This is one of my favorite series, and I just love how it ends. When you have a story where there's like a major battle coming up and the battle wraps up and you still have 100 pages left of the story, you know it's gonna wrap up really well. Because that is what this does. It wraps up with the final battle, and you still have about 100 pages left of the story. So it really gives you good closure, and I just really love how it ended. There were parts of this book that I did get pissed off with, and there were moments before the ending where I was like, I want to chuck this book across the room. But I liked how it ended, and it's one of my favorite endings, so had to go with this one for that. So that is it, you guys. That is my Advent Christmas book tag. I am not tagging anyone specific in this. I will tag the BookTube community. So anyone who wants to do this tag, definitely feel free to do it. And then if you do it, leave me a comment down below. I would love to check it out and see what your responses to these questions were. So yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. I will see you soon with another one. Bye!